Disclaimer: I am just a humble Genshin Impact fan. I do not own any of the rights to Genshin Impact, or any of the content within it, such as the lore books. Those specifically belong to Hoyoverse. What I do have, however, are friends with things like learning disabilities, such as dyslexia and ADHD, or very little free time, making reading the lore books either in-game or on wiki pages hard for them. Our solution to these problems has been for me to make these recordings so that they can listen to them and still get to enjoy Genshin lore like the rest of us. I have chosen to upload these recordings to YouTube as a way of sharing them with other fans within the community who might be in similar situations. I am admittedly no voice actress, trained narrator, or video editor, but I have tried my best, so please be gentle with me. Therefore, without further ado, let's get into today's story. The Fall of the Faded Castle. A poem penned by an author unknown. The writing style seems to give off a strange and ominous aura. Volume 1. Inside the Rusty Rudder, next to the entrance. Once in a dream, I saw a black ship. It sailed through dark night and bleak fog. The hull was rotten, the mast shattered. Yet in some perverse jest at human rationality, each broken piece had been placed together in some twisted way. Entwined together by the algae and seaweed that enveloped the vessel, forming a dreadful dark shadow that shambled through the moonlight, that none could glimpse and not panic. Shift your gaze just a little, and in an instant it shall appear again just before you. A tall, slim figure standing upon the deck, wrapped in dark robes, its face barely seen. Only its eyes, those two cold eyes, which can pierce your soul with a glance. Was that a monster that arose from the depths of the sea, a lord returned from some ancient world, or perhaps the nightmare itself? Volume 2. Sold by Hubel in the Court of Fontaine. By the banks of the world's purest lake, there once stood a glistening castle. Gold leaf and gems decorated its walls, and it shone blinding in the post-noon sun. Pretty banners and flags flew from the roof, while majestic towers soared alongside. Guests from afar peered through colourful windows and marvelled at the wonders every step revealed. Yet none was more marvellous than the many statues, odd in form but real as life. In the centre of the hall sat a golden stage, where musicians played day and night for the castle's master. As the music sounded, listeners flocked like swarming bees to dance in time with the beat that seemed to captivate the entire world. The wine flowed never-ending to sate the thirst for revelry. All could partake, no matter their class or their homeland, but none of this could ease the master's fears or bring his troubled soul a moment of peace. And each time the tower's clock struck its deep midnight chime, he would be possessed by an uncontrollable panic, trapped by his fears and his gloom. The dark-robed figure would surely collect on its debts owed, and all before his eyes would be turned to dust, the souls of his guests and his own included, as tribute to that dark, ancient world. Volume 3. Sold by Hubel in the Court of Fontaine. At first all was still, apart from the curtains and the breeze, and the faint sounds of animals chewing echoing through the walls of some unknown place. Then an odd rasping laugh erupted from an empty room, a nameless horror spreading in the dark. Then, with terrible thunder and storm, a glowing red fog cloud embraced the castle just like a shroud. On the castle's great central stage, a tall, thin figure did appear, a dark spirit in black robes arriving at last. The guests, a moment ago enjoying their revels, fell to the floor one by one, bereft of time even to scream. The master sat shivering and still on his throne, his soul also snatched by the dark. Amid the roar of brick and tile hitting the ground, the castle's glory faded into the past, swallowed by glimmering waves. The blood moon the towers once blocked reappeared in the sky, its baleful glow sweeping the land. And today, by the banks of the world's purest lake, the water reflects the long, fallen, faded castle, the joy and brilliance that once lit its halls, consigned to legends and dreams. The ruins lie suffocated in gloom. Through shattered windows, statues appear as like to monsters, who with the discordant tune that played, sank with the castle into the sea. There is nothing there now but darkness, death, and loss. Other information. Even though it was released in version 4.2, this poem served as a hint towards the release of Fontaine's Nostoi region in version 4.6. The faded castle sub-area of the Nostoi region of Fontaine being a glistening castle and sharing the title of the book. The Praetorian golems being the many statues odd in form but as real as life, and the castle's master being Boethius. A number of fans have theorized that this poem is inspired by The Masque of the Red Death by Edgar Allan Poe. Other names. Sources. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Ad Astra Abyssos.